We have a project here for the old Farnall tractor. What I'm going to try to do today is take this bucket off of here, and in place of the pins on the back of this bucket here, I'm hoping to do a quick attach on the back of here. I just purchased this, and it's got the two plates and then the plate that goes to the bucket. And we're going to try to put this on there. This is a skid steer style one. So what we're going to do is take some measurements across here from that side to this side, figure out our width, and I'm going to cut these brackets, the ones right here, off of the bucket, and hopefully we can get those attached to the quick attach pieces. I had about an hour's worth of film in just cutting with the torch, so I'm going to speed it up here and then cut to the chase. So I tried to cut that as close to the bucket as I possibly could with the torch. I did all right. We're going to have to clean up a little bit, but it doesn't look too bad. And then I tried to keep the mounting bosses in place on my lift here, because that's what those two these two individual pieces are going to go to. So this is a separate piece right here, and that just releases. So I've got this piece lined up. This is where it's going to sit. There's the mechanism. It looks like this piece right here is going to be in my way of this lever. That's the locking lever for it, so we're going to have to take that piece off there. So I'm going to torch those off of there, and we'll do some more fitting. In case you guys are wondering, this is no longer a welding helmet. It looks like a welding helmet. It was one of the old style ones that just had an auto darken in there that was really small. Oh, we got fire going. But I just put a welding shade in there, or a torching shade in there. So it's not technically a welding helmet anymore, just in case you were wondering. All right, so I got some more cleaned up on here. I took a grinder and took some of the paint off the edges of this, but here's what we've got. I had to angle the bottom a little bit for this plate, but I've got it to where it sits pretty decent, right like that. I don't think we have any clearance issues, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the welder, I'm going to tack it in place. Just put like 4 tacks on it that are easy to grind off if I need to, and we'll do a test fit of it and make sure that it's going to work before we actually weld that up solid. But I'll just get this one tacked in place. We'll do the same to the other side, and then we'll see if we can get that plate on the bucket and tack it up and make sure that everything's going to work properly. So this is what it looks like with it just tacked in place. I just have a couple of tacks on there just to hold it in place and to get it lined up. I also grabbed a piece of round tube and made a bar that runs across on there to help stabilize it from side to side. So you can see behind there where I put that bar in and what it looks like. So I've got a lot of welding to do here. I put a couple tacks down the center of it there. And then this bottom, I'm going to need to add a piece of plate down in there to fill in that gap, because I don't want to bend this. I don't want to bend that piece up any, because that piece actually fits the bottom plate that goes onto the bucket. I have yet to do anything with that yet, but I'm getting there. So that's with it tacked up in place. I also raised the loader. I ran it, I tipped it back fore and aft to make sure that these worked all right. I did have to trim off a little bit. I don't know if you can see it here. I did have to trim off a little bit right in there for this lever to go completely up. That's what actually actuates that pin that comes down. And I put it all the way back, and the clearance between here and this flat plate gets really, really close when it's all the way back, but it doesn't actually hurt anything. This is spring loaded a little bit this way, so if I have to, I'll take a little bit of bend out of this and straighten that a little bit. I'm starting to see that this is not an amateur project. If you don't have very good welding, torching skills and fabrication skills, this is going to be a tough one to do. So as of right now, it's looking real good. I also took a piece of tubing. I guess it's C-channel, some thick C-channel here. And what I did with this is I actually clamped it up here to the face, straight across there, to keep these two even. I just used some C-clamps. You can see where I clamped it there. I clamped it straight across, and I also clamped a piece on top here to keep that level while I put this bar in, and all that's tacked together. I just wanted to make sure everything was square, and my distances were right from this end to that end, so my plate fits it. And I did already test fit the plate. It does work well. So we're gonna get this all welded up and start working on the plate for the bucket. To save some time on the video, I ended up aligning the plate to the back of the bucket, making sure it was centered and getting it squared up. It did take some time in grinding off the welds, the old cuts off the back of the bucket, but I got the plate on there nice and flush, and we'll get it welded up here and make sure that it works. Now that I have the quick attach setups of my loader, I should be able to use some of my other implements on the front of this loader, such as the bale spear or pallet forks, which will make it a lot more useful.